Welcome. Today, for our midday session, we are going to focus on the psoas. So, this is a part of your body. It's deep, deep in these hip flexor areas where things can get really tight. And so, our session today is really going to be about opening up deep into the hip flexors, down in there, and creating a lot of relaxation. So, we are definitely going to be stretching. There's a lot of stretching. But first, we really need to create an environment of relaxation. As we allow our bodies to relax, the more likely they are going to open up. So, for today, there are a number of props I'd love for you to have. Obviously, your yoga mat and a number of blankets. So, I have 3 blankets here. That may be too much, 2 might be just fine. And I also have a couple prop bolsters and a couple blocks. You don't need more than 1 bolster. In fact, if you don't have a bolster, you could probably use a pillow if it was firmer, or a firm cushion or 2. You can just allow yourself to make do. Now, how do I have this blanket folded? Well, first I have it folded in half. Then I folded it again in half. And then I'm folding it one more time the long way. So you're going to want to do that with all of your blankets. Now I have mine ready, so I'm just going to pop them on here. Good. And then after I have that settled, you can also have a eye pillow or a scarf to cover your eyes. But you are literally going to sit down on your stack of blankets. You're going to allow your legs to reach out nice and long, and you're going to lay back. You want your head to feel cushioned. You don't want to feel like your neck is straining back and your head is tilted back. You want to have a nice small chin tuck and relax from here. So you're going to set yourself up so that it's as comfortable as it can be. If for some reason your knees are feeling like they're tilting down towards the mat, you're hyperextending because that's maybe what your body does, you can always put a rolled blanket underneath your knees or even underneath your ankles, just to give yourself some extra support. And then you're just going to lay here, maybe again, bringing the eye pillow either onto your forehead for a little nice weight there, or a scarf. So as we get started, the whole idea is for you to allow yourself to be supported by the mat, supported by the floor, and just supported by the breath. So as you get yourself comfortable, once you've laid out, I want you to focus on your exhale. So inhaling for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 6 or 8. So let that exhale extend as long as you can so that you can get the full benefit of relaxation. So if you weren't aware, when you extend your exhale, over time, extending the exhale brings a relaxation response, okay? And so we really want to bring that feeling into our bodies, allowing ourselves to sink deeper, deeper down. So I'm going to read you a little something to help with this idea and just to help you ease into this idea of relaxing into your body. Sometimes during our midday practices, we do really try to get things moving, get things going, keep things sort of light, right? But this psoas area is a tight, tight spot that needs your full attention. So as you continue to breathe, I want you to settle your awareness at the hips. Imagine that you can bring the awareness deep down into those muscles, and that with every single exhalation, this area is allowed to feel supported and it's allowed to unwind. So just settling yourself with that sort of sensation. I'm going to read a little something while you breathe. Fresh and unfixed, there is only now. It can be easy for us to walk through the world in our lives without really being present. While dwelling on the past and living for the future are common pastimes, it is physically impossible to live anywhere but the current moment. We cannot step out our front door and take a left turn to May of last year any more than we can take a right turn into the future. Nevertheless, we can easily miss the future we are waiting for because it has become the now we are too busy to pay attention to. We then spend the rest of our time playing catch up to the moment we just let pass by. On occasions such as these, it is necessary to remember that there is only now. In order to feel more at home in the present moment, it is important to try to stay aware, open, and receptive. Being in the now requires our complete attention so that we are fully awake to experience it. When we are wholly present, our minds do not wander. We are focused on what is going on right now rather than thinking about what just happened or worrying about what is going to happen next. Being present lets us experience each moment in our lives in a way that cannot be fully lived through memory or fantasy. When we begin to corral our attention into the present moment, it can almost be overwhelming to be here. There is a state of stillness that has to happen that can take some time and take some getting used to. And the mind chatter that so often gets us into our heads and out of the present moment must be quieted. We may feel a lack of control because we are not busy planning our next move, assessing our current situation, or anticipating the future. Instead, being present requires that we be flexible, creative, attentive, and spontaneous. Each moment is completely new and nothing like it has taken place before or ever again. As you move through your day, remember to stay present in each moment. In doing so, you will live without having to wait for the future or yearn for the past. Life happens to us when we happen to it in the now. Continuing to breathe, just imagining that the body is yawning open. The deep hips, those muscles in there are yawning open, taking a big sigh of relief. The belly is relaxing, the pelvis is relaxing. And even the heart space, the heart center is opening. So continuing to breathe here, coming into the present moment with your body right now. Coming to a place of connection. Now, imagine that you can breathe in through the back of the belly. That you're imagining they can expand on that inhale through the back body and just exhaling gently. You can even imagine that you're exhaling through the belly button. But inhaling through that back belly, feeling an expansion in the back, opening up. When you are ready, you may pick off that eye pillow or the scarf. If you have something laying on your belly, you can move that blanket off the belly. You're going to bring your feet hip width distance apart, so they're just a little wider than your sit bones, and you're going to gently draw up your left leg first. And then just reach behind. Good. And I want you to press. Imagine that you're pressing your leg away from your chest. Now, for some of us, if we have shorter arms, it definitely feels like a bit of a struggle here, but just bear with yourself. Try to relax through those shoulders, through the neck, press away. And then flex your foot, keep pressing away gently. And then inhale that leg up towards the ceiling, flex, and then press and point. Flex, press and point. Keep pressing your leg away from you, okay? So you're stretching the leg long towards the ceiling, but also pressing that hamstring away, giving yourself a little bit of traction. All right, slowly drawing that knee in, bring that foot down. We're gonna switch sides, picking up that right side, stretch away, push, push, push. Continuing to focus on that exhale. And then when you're ready, flexing that foot, pressing away. Keep breathing, focusing on the exhale. Imagine that the deep, deep muscles in the hips are yawning open, sighing, letting go. Good, pointing, and then lifting that leg up towards the ceiling, flex and point, flex and point. Good, keep going. Just a few more times through. And then gently bring that leg down. Good. All right. Nice work. So now you're going to take out your blocks. You're going to bring them to either side of your, or you have one block. You don't need both at the same time. So if you only have one block, that's okay. But you're going to have them on either side of your blankets. You're going to keep the blankets here on your mat. So as you rest your knees, you are going to tuck your toes. Okay. So let's start with our right leg. You're going to keep that ankle below the knee. And what we're going to focus on is stretching and lengthening up. So you're going to make sure that this back knee is allowing you to open up into the front of that hip, right down deep in here, okay? So you're working on lengthening and lifting up. Good. Just bring the arms up. Good. Just to get a sense of that lifting, roll the shoulders, relax the shoulders, lift up. Feel yourself breathing into the front of that hip, down deep. Again, imagine that that yawning is happening. Good. Breathing, making minor adjustments so you can feel into the front of that left hip. As you stretch, it's subtle and it's gentle, okay? It's not an overdoing, it's not tough. You can imagine that you're able to sigh into this, that the hips, the psoas deep in there is sighing relief, opening up. Good. So now adjust your block a little bit so that you can press into it. And again, I've got shorter arms, so to make it work for me, I'm going to press here, lift up, and then arch to the right. So my left arm up, arch to the right. Now, not so much again, just dumping over to the right, but that lifting and then arching over like a beautiful tree. I'm thinking a little bit like ballerinas, how they lift and then bend. Focus on that exhale. Relax the shoulder down. Good job. Lift up. We're going to switch to the other side. So you can move your block. Plant the left arm, again, lifting up, drawing up, and then arching over. Again, a subtle feeling on the left hip. More about opening up and yawning and relaxing into those deep, deep, deep muscles. in the hip flexors. Inhale back up. We're going to switch sides. Just come back to center for a minute. Pick up that left foot, tack it down, make sure the knee is above the ankle. And then you're breathing into the front of that right hip this time, getting deep in between there. And then drawing up through the rib cage, feeling this upward motion, feeling attractioning. And then once you are able to feel that lengthening, relax and drop those shoulders. Breathe. Again, imagine this idea of yawning open these muscles, just a deep sigh of relief, not a lot of work. We're just asking them to relax. Focus on that exhale. All right, and when we're ready, I'm going to draw up that right arm, feel that lengthening up, and then just tilting a little bit over to the right, pressing into your block. That lifting, and then the arch is just secondary. See if you can find a lightness through this activity. So if you're feeling like you're working really hard, see if you can relax into it. You don't need to be working so hard. It's more about letting it happen, letting go. This particular area of the body really is desiring and craving safety. So we don't need to push it. That just contracts this area. We really want to start to expand by finding and allowing the rest. Inhale back up. Let's switch sides. Lifting and then gently arching. Beautiful. Imagine this area of your body, these hips, and any other place that's feeling tight. Imagine that there's this softening. Just any stickiness, any tension, any tightness is just softening. And then inhale back up. Good job. You can move those blocks out of the way. Okay. And then we are going to come into our Sphinx pose. So we're going to come on to, so we're going to continue to use these blankets. Okay. So we're going to come on to our bellies. Okay. And you're going to tuck your toes. Okay, feel yourself lengthening through the legs. Imagine that your legs are nice and long, like as if you can pull them away, tractioning out the low back just a little bit. Good. And then you're going to stack your forearms. Your elbows are a little bit forward of your shoulders. You're going to stack your forearms, and then you're going to rest your head on top of your forearms. And I want you to imagine again that there's a softening happening through the body. And then once you sort of feel the whole body moving in that way, then relax the feet.